How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the HR Office Podcast Live here for totally the first time, and we did not have to stop and start again on twitch.tv/hardest reset and coming to your YouTube feeds at Twitch. Coming to your YouTube feeds on Twitch. Yeah, I'm fucking great. Coming to your YouTube feeds at youtube.com/hardest reset. As always, I'm your host, Greg, and I'm joined here by a wild May. Say hello. So, we got a lot to talk about today. We have catching up with May. We got the Laura Bailey situation that came up over the weekend. We have Funimation Con and AX Lite to talk about. MySpace found 500,000 songs. Disney's going to replace Splash Mountain, and a bunch of other video game stuff that we've been doing and playing and stuff, as well as the long-awaited return of the homebrewers. But before we get into all that, we have always made sure to check in on whoever's on the podcast. And May, you haven't been on the podcast for a while, so how are you doing?
I'm good. Just been working a lot.
You have been working a lot. How is it? Out of the three of us, you're the one that's still working, and it's I'm bugging the shit out of me still not working for the time being. So I gotta ask, like, how is it being out in the workforce? Like, how? So how do I want to word the question? How different has the workforce, at least for you, been since everything kind of happened?
I mean, it hasn't been too much of a change. The only difference is we're just having the pandemic, but otherwise it's
Right.
still the same as usual.
That's. I just realized that you don't work at an office. You work at like keeping it as general as possible. You don't work with you work with people, but you don't have the general public. It's just you guys. So I just realized that, like, a lot of your stuff's going to be like over the phone discussion in morning, but you don't have to practice like in person protocol, which is good, because that shit is fucking nasty that's going around. It's really really crazy and really yeah, it's yeah, we haven't had you. Do you remember the last podcast we had you on? It was before we
I
started. I think it was before pandemic.
probably I don't remember honestly when last one I was on.
I know it was like pre-pandemic.
Hmm.
Because we were still at the table when we
Yeah.
started doing this. I mean, we're all still living in the same apartment, but it's just with the new
Yeah.
microphones, it's easier to make things sound pretty here.
Yeah.
So some stuff. So you've been working. You also had a struggle for a coat in Final Fantasy 14. How many times did you have? So what was the coat, and how many times did you have to do that fucking dungeon?
So it's a code of casting for my class, and because we only would run it every Friday,
Yeah,
I think this was like the third or fourth Friday, I want to say, that we ran for it. So it
it's at
kept,
least the third, if not the fourth. Yeah.
yeah. So we just did it every Friday. We didn't do it every day. That's why it took longer because we just did it once a week. When after we were done doing other stuff in the game, and we
Yeah.
weren't we were up tired and we were up to failing to do it. So
Yeah, no, I totally get you. It's
Mhm.
God, just doing that dungeon once with you guys, I'm just sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? I would lose my mind having to do that. I know it's a level 80 dungeon in 14,
Mhm.
but what was the name of the dungeon specifically?
The Grand Cosmos.
The Grand
And
Cosmos. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I can understand. Say, for example, he got tired of hearing the music. I just got bored because I did it so many times. I know that
Right.
dungeon like
Yeah.
the back of my hand. I can do it like with my one hand if I wanted to. I've done that, ran that dungeon so many times. I know every single
That's
mechanic of every enemy and boss. So it's
yeah.
just it gets repetitive and tedious after a
That's
while.
that's
That you're just doing the same.
yeah. That's like you with the was it the thousand memes of Totoro? I don't.
Hmm.
I only
Oh,
did
that
that one.
was
I've only done that like a couple times, and you're just like, how have you lucked out and not had to do that one so many
yeah.
times? Because
Hmm.
I've done it so infrequently. Like I would always do when I was leveling up in ARR. And even in the Heaven's Ward, I would always have to fucking do the mansion. The mansion. I was so fucking sick of that stupid mansion.
Oh yeah, the Hokage
The
Manor.
Hokage Manor. Yeah, I would have to do that
Hmm.
so many fucking times, and it was ridiculous and stupid,
Hmm.
and I hated that, and that's just for leveling. Like you were doing it to get a coat for glamour for your end game, but you finally got it. And how does the coat look on you?
Looks good. I mean, I've seen on other classes,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
I know what it looks like on other classes, including mine, because other people used it. But I
Right.
just, when I
Yeah.
saw it, I really wanted it because someone made a glamour with it. So I
Ah.
wanted
Okay.
to.
Okay.
I wanted to do the same glamour, and to do it, you need the code, obviously. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I have an idea of what it looks. I mean, I tried it on after I got it, so I know what
Hmm.
it looks like for the most
Yeah.
part.
No. 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 I totally got you. Let's see. I'm looking at all the stuff that we written down. With everything going on, how have you been like personally? How have you been holding up? Been doing okay, hanging in
Mm,
there.
okay.
You're here. You're alive.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, you just like everyone else, you just got to keep chugging along. Well, obviously you're
Hmm.
doing okay because you got your coat. So at least you finally got your coat.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
excited to
won't change
fun.
my glamour till after summer, though. Right now, mine is for the summertime.
Right.
So
Yeah, you
maybe
do
after
seasonal. Yeah.
July or middle of August, I'll change it again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe depend. I may just after a while, like okay, time to change, even though it's summertime, because
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to have something different. Yeah.
I have written down you have a Persona 4 topic you wanted to talk about. So like it
Oh
was a story
yes.
that you wanted. We were when we were testing everything last night. There was a story that you had. You're like, I'm gonna save it for podcast tomorrow. So what is
Yes.
this
Yes.
Persona 4 story that you have?
So I'm sure you know it's been around everywhere, but now Persona 4 is on Steam.
It's on Steam. Yeah,
So
that was a big deal.
yes, yeah. So you guys, it's like $20. You can buy it.
20 bucks. That's
It's
not bad. $20. Yeah.
it's golden, so it's a Vita. It's the Vita game on Steam. So there in the unused data files, you can actually
Mhm.
romance Yosuke, and so somebody actually is making a patch to
Oh
where
no
you
way.
can romance Yosuke. Yes, so everyone's
Oh
like
shit. That's
losing,
awesome.
freaking out because for the longest time people wanted to date the boys in Persona.
Yeah.
So now that they have those unused files, someone's actually taking it,
Mhm.
putting dialogue with it exactly, what Yosuke says in the dub, and yeah, they're putting it in
Yeah.
there. So they're
So
making
does
a
that mean?
patch
So
for
does
that.
that mean that they had the dialogue? Okay, I gotta remember how much.
It's
of
like
that was-
voice acted, I believe. I think
It's
someone
actually
posted a
voice
video-
acted. No shit.
Yeah, somebody posted a
Yeah.
video on YouTube of it being voice acted, like by Yuri Lowenthal. So it's legit.
That's crazy. That's.
Mhm. It's like how in Persona 3, Junpei
Mhm.
was supposed to be a romantic option for the female protagonist, but they cut that out.
Yeah, and then in Persona 5 was Yusuke, right? Like the people was it the rumor was that Yusuke was going to be a possible romanceable option once upon a time?
Maybe. I mean, I didn't hear too much about it. People wanted the boys to be romanceable, but I don't think there's anything in the data files
Mhm.
that suggest otherwise. Otherwise, everybody would be freaking out and getting excited over it. But no, I haven't. I don't think there's anything in Persona 5 to suggest there was any voice acting. I know they used unused like sprites and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
portrait pictures, but nothing about romancing the guys or anything
I
like
could have
that.
sworn, unless it was just the comment that was made, it's just like, yeah, he seems like he would be the romanceable one.
I think it's the comment because you know how Yusuke is in game, the way he's portrayed. So
Very
a lot of people are like,
eccentric. Yeah,
yeah,
very
people are like,
eccentric
oh,
artist.
he'd be a great, romantic options.
Mhm. That is true, especially with how extra Joker already is, and how extra
Mhm.
Yusuke is, or how
Yeah.
eccentric Yusuke is. That'd be an interesting combination. So they really are. Yeah, I mean that's the wonder of getting shit on Steam is that you get these patches now, especially if it was in the game files. So I'm gonna wait till you finish taking a sip of your drink, and you're gonna need to take a lot of sips of your drink. So as we've been going through Funimation Con and AX Lite, and we got a bunch of stuff that was announced over the weekend that we're going to talk about. However, I want to ask you a simple question: why are you such a simp for Daisuke Kambe? Oh no, your volume went out again. Okay, we're back. Fuck Discord. We also gotta get Skype to work properly. We tried both Skype and Discord last night, and it just
there's something.
there's ways to get it all figured out. And you're the only one we have this issue with. When Mir and I are on Discord, we don't have any issues whatsoever. So anyway, where I left off was my question of why are you a simp for Daisuke Kambe? Because Daisuke Kambe, one of the main characters of Millionaire Detective.
Yes.
Balance Unlimited, which is pretty great from the 2 episodes that came out. So why are you such a simp for Daisuke Kanbe.
Because he's just so beautiful.
He's so
And
beautiful.
he's rich.
And he's rich.
And he's basically anime Tony Stark.
Kind of. Yeah.
Excuse me, I should say Japanese Tony Stark, because anime, there is like Nendroids.
There's Marvel anime.
And there's like
Marvel anime.
there's Nendroids
Yeah.
of Iron Man, which is basically Tony Stark.
Mhm.
So it's anime. So
Well,
I
there's
should
no
say
basically there is Tony.
yeah, there is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basic. Well, it's Nendroid form of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
weird
yeah.
sense. So, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's basically. I shouldn't be using basically. Basically is like that one word you should just remove from your vocabulary.
Basically, it's the word basically that needs to stop.
Yes.
Basically. But
It's
anyway.
it's hard when you've had that
It's like
ingrained in
me
your-
saying like and yeah, no.
Well, that's
But like
California.
that's like in my lingo, but it's not professional. It's not
No.
great. So
But it's California talk. I
it's
call it.
Californian,
I like
yes.
to call it that
It's very much
because that's
Californian.
how a Californian talks.
That is very true.
Yes.
That is very true indeed.
But the word basically, like Josie just said, we should just remove that from our vocabulary.
Remove that from
It's
our
really
vocabulary.
difficult, though.
It is,
And then
yeah.
you've used it for so long.
Trying to remove good or not good. Those aren't good words. Basically, it's not a good word.
No.
It's not. I mean, it's a big word, but it's not a good word. It's
Big
very
but useless.
Big but useless.
Yes.
Unlike my dick, which is small but also useless.
Anyway,
Speaking of people with small dicks, let's
So-
talk this Laura Bailey situation.
you didn't want to know why?
Oh no! I thought you were done. I thought you was like, oh,
No,
he
I
was
was-
rich
and he's just so
Okay.
handsome, and his voice actor has such a nice voice. Like
That's
it's
good.
very soothing to listen to.
I have it marked when we
Yes.
talk about Funimation Con that you got to watch the Millionaire Detective panel with
Yeah.
the two main voice actors, which was
And
all a lot of
just
fun.
he's just great, and he's very pretty to look at. What's the word I'm looking for? Very easy on the eyes, I want to say.
Yes,
He just,
okay.
he has really good aesthetic, I guess you want to call it.
He is
that.
aesthetics, all lowercase, italicized, spaces between
Yes.
each letter.
But he's very pleasant to look at.
Maybe like a twirl in the text, but he's nice on the eyes.
Yes.
I think that's
That's
the
why
phrase.
I like it.
I'm not good at phrases.
I'm not either.
No, it's all
No.
good. Man, I fucked up the transition. Speaking of people with small dicks.
Oh.
No, it's all good. We'll talk about the rest of Funimation Con in a moment. Actually, I'm going to swap these. Since we already mentioned the Balance Limited panel, let's talk Funimation Con and AX Light, and then we'll do the Laura Bailey thing that happened over the weekend.
Okay.
So, speaking of things that happened at Funimation Con, so how was that panel? Well, that was AX Light,
Yeah.
but still.
Well,
how?
Well, in a sense, yeah, it was AX, but it was more so through Aniplex.
Aniplex,
Because
okay.
Aniplex and Funimation, I'm sure you know.
Yes.
But
they're
Aniplex
partnered
and
together.
they are partnered together, so
Yeah.
they were showing the same panel, but it's just on Aniplex's online con.
Okay,
Otherwise,
okay.
the panel was very enjoyable.
Very
I
enjoyable.
got to, see who the voice actors are. I've only
Yeah.
seen Mamoru Miyano
Yeah.
in pictures. I've never actually seen him what he looks like in
Right, yeah.
in real life. if
You've
you
never
wanna
seen
call
him
it.
in motion. You've only
Yes.
seen photos of him.
And
yeah.
I saw him, and his hair is pretty.
Yeah.
But
He's
in
got
a-
very poofy hair.
he is, but
Absolutely.
he's a very charming guy. Like
I mean, that's Miyano Memorial. That's why so many people love
Yes,
him.
he's
He's a charming dude.
yes, he's very fun and playful. I wanna
That's
say
fun.
That, yes. So.
He's got that spunk. You know
Yes,
what I
there
mean?
you go.
He
yes,
got that
yes, very
spunk.
But always.
And then the voice actor for Daisuke Kanbe, this was his first role.
Yes,
if I
this is
remember
very
correctly,
first
right?
anime role. He's a dancer.
Oh,
So
no
he
shit.
mainly
Okay.
dances. Yes, this is his very first
Okay.
role, and yeah, he sounds really good for the first his very first.
That's
role.
cool.
And he's very quiet, like when it comes to not like when when you're in an interview and if it's you and the other person and questions not really asked at you, you just kind of listen.
yeah.
That's what he does.
He's very much a listener.
Yeah, he's a listener. He's very quiet.
That's cool.
It's like me. I related to him. I was like, I'm the same way.
You're like, I can relate.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the panel was interesting.
That's cool.
Answered some questions, showed the
preview for-
preview for the episode 3, a recap of episode 1 and 2, and music video for the opening.
You were saying the music video was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's like, hell
it's on YouTube.
yeah. That opening theme is so
Yeah, it's
good.
really good, and they talked about when the singles are coming out. And
Oh,
just-
cool, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he
When was the ending coming out again? It was in
August,
right?
but
Yeah.
in digital format on like iTunes, it's like July 18th or something. If
Oh,
you want
nice.
like a physical copy,
Nice.
it's August.
Nice.
Yeah.
So physical copies, you gotta wait for a little bit.
Yes. Like
Let's
everything else.
let's see what else happened. There's a lot that happened. Mira and I watched the My Hero tournament. That was a lot of fun, or at least what we did. We fucked up. We didn't realize that the times for Funimation Con were Central Time because they're in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking moron, so I missed the beginning of it. But we got to watch Clifford Chapman and Justin Briner fight. And then we got to watch Chris Sabat and John Swayze fight, which was pretty great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty fucking hype. And then later that night, I watched Justin Briner stream One's Justice 2.
Oh, he played it too.
He played more. Well, he's been playing it hardcore, and then Clifford apparently platinumed the game.
Oh, good.
So like he's just sitting there like, oh, cool,
Yeah,
fun.
I know. All of them are playing the second one now because the first one never got dubbed.
Well, yeah, that's One's Justice 2 is
Yeah.
what they are playing.
Yeah, but I know like the
Yeah.
first one, like it never got dubbed, and I know me, including a lot of people, didn't buy it because
Yeah.
it was not dubbed. But I guess this first one did so well that they did.
There's
the
enough
second-
people that buy shonen fighting
Games,
games
and-
that they at least get a sequel.
Yeah, and I guess it did so well. They're like, or maybe the backlash was just so bad. They're like, okay,
Maybe,
maybe
yeah.
we got to dub this or something. But
Yeah.
regardless, I'm glad they finally dubbed it because
Yeah.
now I do want to get it,
Apparently they've been working on it for months.
yeah.
It's pretty great.
which is good to hear. I'm glad, you know.
Oh yeah, it's cool. And then watching Justin Briner do ranked matches later, it's like he can play, man.
Speaking of anime games, I'm shocked. So there's a ReZero video game coming out, and it's getting dubbed.
No shit.
Yes, but they haven't.
That's cool.
But none of the voice actors have come out and said they're being the roles because it's that NDA thing. Even though
that weird
more-
kind of like
even though more than like
uncredited thing,
or
right?
they're more than likely, you know, the voice they're gonna say it's the same voice actors, but just the fact they even
Yeah.
are dubbing this, like it's a limited print run. So I'm
Usually
just-
those games don't get dubbed at all. Like
Yeah,
usually
that's
it's
why
like
I was-
Japanese with
that's why-
subtitles. Yeah.
which shocks me because, like, for example, Sword Art Online, none of those games are dubbed,
and that's, I would argue, infinitely more popular
But in
than
ReZero.
ReZero. ReZero's pretty fucking popular.
But yeah, it's getting
You know.
dubbed and everything, and I was like, what? Okay, Spike Chunsoft.
I'm like, okay,
Kudos
cool.
to you.
Hey, good for you. That's good.
I may just buy it because I like ReZero and
That's
because, you know, buying it shows that, oh, people do want this. Let's
Yeah.
keep doing it, you know?
Yeah, that was really, yeah, that there this whole weekend, a lot of these announcements were like, wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen. One of those being the Persona 5 the animation getting
Yes,
dubbed
I did.
and getting released.
I remember I watched the first 3 episodes of the
Yeah.
sub, and then I stopped because I was like, I don't really want to watch sub. I prefer the English dub cast. Everyone's gonna now out me because they're like, you like English dubs.
That shit we've caught for years.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's
Whatever.
it's nothing new.
I'm dub garbage. That's
yeah,
fine.
exactly.
I'll
Same
take,
here.
I'll take that.
I'll watch some
snack.
subs, but yeah, I watch
I
dubs.
prefer dubs.
Yeah,
it's-
so yeah, I stopped because I was like thinking, okay, maybe they'll someday dub it, like, you know, because they dubbed the Persona 4 anime.
Right,
And yeah, and
yeah,
they
I
did that,
remember.
and we in Persona
that was
3.
the first time I heard Matthew Mercer's name because he took over for Troy
Baker
Baker
was
halfway
fun.
through the anime.
Yeah. But yeah, so they dubbed the anime, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, finally, my waiting paid off.
And everyone's coming back, it looks like. So
Yeah, they
that's-
got all the original voice cast so far. Like, everyone sounds the same, like in the game.
Oh,
so.
they even had like, you know, Xander Mobus, Joker, you know, Max Middleman, Matthew Mercer, Erica Lundbeck, Erica Harletscher. What's Haru's voice actress's name?
Xanth?
Yes,
Say something?
yeah,
I
I think
think?
so. I think
It's
so.
like, I like her name, but it's really hard to pronounce.
She's so nice. I
Yes.
met her at we met her at AX like 3 years ago.
I remember you
She
guys
was-
met her, yeah.
She was a sweetheart. She was super great.
Yeah.
And then didn't we run into her and Erica Harletscher at one of the Persona Macron
Oh, yeah,
events?
because I took a picture with them.
Yeah,
They
that
were
was
at the
cool.
background event, yes.
That was fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, seeing all the AX stuff in my memories on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I see so much Persona stuff I should.
I know. I saw one where I was in front. It was the year that Mira flew out for good, and there was me when we did Dancing Star Night.
Yes.
Or
right.
excuse me, Dancing in Starlight. We
Yeah.
still called it Dancing Star Night.
I still call it
I still call it
Starlight.
Dancing Star Night. But when I was Dancing Star Night Ryuji in front of the Pop Team Epic
Yes.
wallpaper, I was like F.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that. We took that.
That was
yes.
fun. That was a good. It's one of my favorite photos from that from that year. Was that going F in
Yep.
front of the fucking
Pop
Pop Team
Team
Epic
Epic
thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Let's see what else do we have. The World Ends with You.
Let's
Get an anime.
Okay.
You played the game.
I did.
I watched our friend Colin lose his fucking mind. How excited for you for this anime?
I'm so hyped. Like I love this game. It's been years since I played it, but I love it. I love the story, the characters. It's so exciting to see it get an anime because I always, sometimes when you play video games, you wonder what it would be like as an anime.
Yeah.
This is one of the games like when I played.
I'm starting to play it, and I'm going to talk about my experience in a little while when we do the like games we're playing section. But yeah, it's very stylized, and yeah, I can imagine how this will look. And I'm already seeing how they can split certain things up for different episodes and shit like that. And I've just barely started. So, but yeah, you're super hyped, and you're like, I hope they get the original cast to come back for it.
I really hope they got him for Dream Drop Distance. So I'm hoping we'll get it for the
Who's
anime.
in the original cast of this game?
It's a lot of voice actors that I haven't heard him really anything else. There's a guy in there who plays Joshua. His name's Aaron Span, I think. The only other role I've heard him do is Onion Knight in Dissidia.
Oh,
I haven't heard him in anything else. But all these other voice actors, maybe if I looked at their names, I might know them. But for the most part, like all their voices I've heard, I have not really heard them in anything else.
Really? Okay.
So maybe they're just, they're their one role and whatnot.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm hoping they do get to come back though.
That's good. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's see what else got announced. Yeah, the Aniplex panel. What else was announced at Aniplex? Aside from Persona 5.
Oh, the animes? Yeah. A lot of just like animes that I never heard of. I'll be honest, half of it I wasn't paying attention because half of them didn't intrigue my interest, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the only big thing that they announced obviously is SAO because the second part of season 3 is now airing, like gonna air pretty soon.
Season 3 of which one? Or
SAO.
Just SAO general?
It's called SAO Alicization.
Oh, the Aloes is yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that because it was on it. They split up into like 2 cores, and originally the second core was supposed to come out in the spring, but because of COVID,
all of this,
they pushed it back. But July is when it's coming out. So they're heavily promoting that because obviously
that's our flagship at this point.
They didn't really talk anything Fate because Fate had its own panel I didn't watch.
So you were confused. There's apparently another Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works coming
yes.
What was that all about?
They redid the entire Unlimited Blade Works anime in a new Blu-ray box set. And that's why I was like, what?
Wasn't it already
It was, but there's new packaging or something. It was just
so basically just repackaged the Blu-ray set.
And there's other stuff in there I'm sure I didn't see.
Okay.
But that's like their big thing is they're doing that on Blu-ray. Nisekoi is getting released. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl, which is the movie. So that was a lot of the stuff I got to see is the anime that they're releasing.
That's cool.
On DVD and Blu-ray.
Let's see. Talking about the animation, Funimation had a couple announcements. They're redoing Higurashi?
No.
Or they just what's this news about Higurashi? Because I'm seeing conflicting things about what it's actually supposed to be.
So Higurashi, it's the same anime, but it's done by a entire new studio, like different art. I don't know if the voice actors are returning. I never watched the original anime,
right?
But it's a new animation studio doing it.
Okay.
I think Studio Dean originally did.
So it's like a shot-for-shot remake, I guess?
I guess, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if what it entails exactly, but I just know it's a new animation studio. I have a feeling in Japan they're probably going to bring back the original cast. It was never dubbed.
Yeah.
Or at least not that I know of it was dubbed.
I don't know.
It's just, I think it might be... It's kind of like, I think, with Fate, you know how Studio Dean did the original Fate, but then Ufotable did Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel. For Higurashi, I think that's what they're doing, is just a new studio. They might be doing an entirely different, expansive story.
Okay.
And then it's supposed to come out this month.
So it's getting the Unlimited Blade Works treatment,
I think. And it was supposed to come out this month, but they had to push it back, obviously. So now it's September. Now it's coming. And Funimation is saying they're going to stream it because they got the license for it.
Yeah, because some people were saying that, it's a remake. And people are like, well, it's not actually a remake. It's like, it's a shot-for-shot remake. And I'm like, well, what is it?
I think it's going to be a shot-for-shot remake, just a different animation studio.
Different studio
is
doing
taking
it,
on the animation.
Okay, yeah, and then some people were complaining like, I just wanted a new season. I don't want to like rewatch the same shit.
Oh
And I was
yeah,
like,
probably
okay.
because the way it ended. I'm sure it didn't end, and it ended in a way that
Probably.
left open.
That's probably why they're saying that there's going to be a more expansive story.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that a studio picks up Umineko and redoes it. That's
Set it up, set it up, man. You got this.
redo it, because the original anime, I never watched it, but from what I hear, they condensed too much and the story was not good. And so,
And there's like what 8 long fucking parts in
yes,
the visual novel.
so the visual novel is 8 chapters long, but these chapters are at least like 40, 50 hours in length, each single one, because there's so much.
There's a lot of
Like,
content.
this whole script, from what I read ages ago, I think it's longer than War and Peace, and that is a long book. So I want a company to get Umineko and redo it with a nice
do like 8 seasons
Yeah.
of content.
like just make the story
Yeah.
good and give it a pretty studio to make it pretty. Give me that blood and gore, because
Give me that blood and gore. Give you that Beto.
That's the whole thing about Umineko. There's just a lot of blood and gore. It's like Higurashi.
Yeah, it's like Higurashi but tasteful.
In a sentence, yes.
Well, okay.
I mean, there are classy people in there.
That's what I meant. Classy, not tasteful. Classy. Nothing's tasteful about the violence of the When They Cry series.
No.
Nothing's tasteful. Higurashi, people's fingernails are being pulled off.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna do that for the remake.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
That's a well-known scene.
That's like an
Yeah.
iconic scene.
That's the scene that either made people go, fuck yes, I love how brutal it is, or go, I'm out, I
Yeah.
can't do it. For you, that was the
I couldn't watch
I
it.
can't
Yeah, I
do it,
tried,
yeah.
and it just, when she was starting to, I'm like, nope, I am done.
You're like, I'm out, I'm
Yeah.
done, I ain't doing
And
this
then
shit.
and speaking of that, Ryukushi07 works When They Cry. Now I want someone to animate Rose Gundays, because that's also.
You love Rose
I did. I
Gundays,
never
yeah.
finished it. I'm in the process of getting back to it. But,
Yeah.
But I love that series. I love
Yeah.
that story. It was really good, and I think it'd be a good anime too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how companies work and what gets an anime and what doesn't.
It also depends on how many people would actually watch it too. You gotta gauge especially with how expansive that story is. You have to make sure that you have enough people that keep coming back to it if you wanted to do it properly, I guess.
Yes.
They also announced the Attack on Titan movie and then the Demon Slayer movie.
Oh yeah, so Demon Slayer movie is coming out
Yeah.
later this year. The Attack on Titan, it's the new trilogy movie recap or something. I didn't pay too much
I
attention.
have not known what's been going on with Attack on Titan for the better part of 5-6 years.
The only thing I last heard is that the manga's almost has 5% left, and then the story's completely done.
Yeah,
And that's all
on the
I-
final arc of the
think.
anime, I think.
Well, the manga, but the anime is gonna apparently try to wrap it all up.
Yeah, it lost the plot so hardcore
I know.
for me.
I was like, what?
When it got to a point where I'm just like, stop, stop, because so what had happened, if my memory serves me right, his original plot got leaked,
Yeah.
and so in an effort to, instead of staying committed to what he originally was going to do, he changed a lot of shit, which is why the plot is a fucking mess anymore. He had this long plot of who was going to survive, how they were going to do these reveals and stuff like that, what was in the walls, what was the deal with Aaron's dad, all this stuff. Then it got leaked, and he goes, well, I can't do that anymore, and just completely redid it. I'm like, dude, you could just do it. It's fine.
But some authors, once their work is leaked.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, when you see what we got in place of it, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
So, not much there. But yeah, and then Demon Slayer, not only the movie but the DVDs coming.
Yeah, so there's a limited edition coming out for parts 1 and 2, and then there's a regular version that's for parts 1 and 2, because they love to break up their parts.
Yeah, they like to do
parts
13
1
and 13,
yeah,
or however
they want to do
yeah.
it. But yeah, that got announced, so you can pre-order right now from Right Stuff, Funimation, or Aniplex. I think Funimation.
Funimation?
Funimation,
yeah.
Funimation has the regular, but yeah, you can go Right Stuff. You can buy both.
Yeah.
But it's out for pre-order right now. If you really love Demon Slayer that much, you can own it.
Cough, cough. Mira, you like Demon Slayer?
She does like Demon Slayer.
You should look into that.
Yeah. If it's reasonable, I mean.
If it's reasonable.
If she can afford it.
I mean, it's Funimation show. There's a Funimation show. I fucking had a stroke just now. It's a Funimation product, so it's most definitely going to be a reasonable price. Probably
Yeah.
60, 50, 60.
That's
Which
about.
isn't bad.
Yeah, that's about how much.
It's
fun
not the $300 that you're going to drop for
Persona 5.
For Persona 5.
I know
yeah.
so many people are angry. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't even care honestly anymore. I rarely buy anime.
You do.
Honestly, if I
So
buy,
why not get this extra box set?
yeah. So when I buy anime, usually my criteria for buying anime is if I enjoyed the story that much
Yeah.
that I had to own it, then I'll buy it. That's why
Yeah.
a lot of anime, you don't see a lot of anime on my shelf because a lot of times I'll just watch it on streaming sites.
You'll watch it on like Crunchyroll or
Crunchyroll, and I
Funimation
go, okay, this is
or
a good
Curve.
show.
Yeah.
Like, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of the shows I like, they don't impact me in a way that
They're
I
not
have to-
like I have to own
Yeah,
this
like,
as a collection.
That was me, like, for example, Psycho Pass, the first season. When I watched it on Netflix when it was on there, it changed my life.
I forgot Psycho Pass was on Netflix.
But then they took it off.
Yeah, so.
But I have it. I have both seasons and the movie. So we can watch it. But yeah.
And then you're sitting there, you were disappointed in Funimation's panel AX Lite.
Yeah, I was only disappointed because I was hoping they would talk something about Psycho Pass because I'm still waiting for them to somehow
Get their hands on
the
first
three movies
Right.
that go before season 3 because actually a lot of things and some things in season 3 it connects these movies so these are actually vital to watch to make some sense like you'll like certain things in the season 3 you're like if you don't watch it you're like well how does this happen well the movies tie into it so it's actually vital so that's why I really want them to dub it because they're just good. I mean I watched all of them regardless because I was tired of waiting. I'm like I want to know the whole Psycho Pass story but you know it's just
you swear by Psycho Pass.
I do. It's one of my all-time favorite animes. I love
what
Psycho.
I've watched of it it's really
Psycho
good.
Pass.
I just need to watch more of it. So it's good shit. Let's see. God, was there anything else that any of these other? There's like a bunch of Gundams.
Yeah.
I was watching the Gundam panel.
They talked about Madoka at Aniplex because
really?
Yeah, because you know the new Madoka show, the Magic Record or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mobile game that got into an anime. They got the return cast for the original girls.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And then they got other voice actresses for the other girls.
The other girls.
Yeah. So
there's more girls. That's right.
There is.
That's right. There are more girls.
And in this one, since it's just like a spin-off, Homer finally got her happy ending.
Okay,
so
all right.
That's always good to know.
That's good at least.
Yes.
That's good. Nothing bad ever happened to Homura. The end.
Yep. The end.
Yeah.
That's all celebrate.
There's just because we were waiting for random stuff. There's a Gundam panel.
Yeah.
And it was the 40 years of Gundam. Like over, I think it was over 40 years. They said 1979, so it would have been 41 years of Gundam.
I need those baby Gundams, the ones for little kids.
Oh yeah, the ones that are saying like they're good for kids, and I'm like, I'm kid.
Yep.
I don't.
Me too.
I've always. Mira and I were watching some of that. I've always wanted to build a Gundam.
It's a lot though.
It's a lot.
Like you have to get all these tools and stuff for it. I'll just get the baby ones.
Get the baby.
Because it's already painted, I'm sure.
Hello, you baby.
Yeah. And I'll just build it.
Mira was freaking out because they're doing Gundam Wing Gundams.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna steal a sip of that water if that's okay.
Okay.
I know. My drink's out already.
Gundam Wing. I was like,
Gundam Wing.
That's still my favorite Gundam.
Everyone on that panel was saying that, even though they weren't saying it was their favorite, they said Gundam Wing was their first.
Yep, it is for a lot.
A lot of people said that was their first. Because Toonami.
Toonami showed it.
That
was
my first anime.
That was your first anime. Was
ever.
Gundam Wing? Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but Gundam Wing was like my first.
Technically, was I think I watched DBZ before Pokemon. Or no, it was Pokemon then DBZ. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think my first anime, I want to say it was Sailor Moon because I watched
Moon?
it when it was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, the old Toonami block. So come home from school, do your homework, and then watch Toonami. Man.
But yeah, my first Gundam was actually G Gundam.
G Gundam.
With Domon.
Domon Kashu.
Yeah, Domon.
That was my first Gundam was Gundam Wing, but I so watched it passively instead of actively. I could not tell you anything about it.
I love one of the reasons why they chose Really Pretty Boys is because they wanted girls to watch Gundam.
So, May.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Did it work?
It did. The reason why I watched it because I saw Tro and I was like, man, he saw it. And that's why I watched it.
Kid May was just like,
well, no, that wasn't Kid May. Kid May was just fascinated by the robots. I watched it again later on when I was in high school. So that's when I got into the husband thing. That's when I saw Tro and it went. I'm like,
There he
really
is.
hot men. Yes, all time to watch.
Speaking of hot men, what's being revitalized now thanks to The World Ends With You? You posted it on
Oh
Twitter.
yeah, for Joshua.
You're
yeah.
like, hey, you know,
I said, hey May, remember when you had a thing for Joshua? Well, his anime said, here you go.
here you go.
We're bringing it
Welcome
back. It's like Kingdom Hearts 3 with me and Riku.
Yeah?
Remember we did a
Yeah.
thing for Riku? Well, Kingdom Hearts 3 said, here
Yeah.
you go again.
Don't call it a comeback. That's the story here. That's amazing.
Rip the Riku standee.
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't find it when I went. It's gone forever.
It's gone forever. What happened to it? Because
I-
we went out
so-
of our way to try to get you that ages ago.
So what happened is I was like, this is when I wasn't in my Kingdom Hearts phase anymore. So I was like, okay, I don't need this Riku standee. Why do I have it? So I meant to trash it, but my mom gave it to someone who wanted it, and it was in the garage of the place I stayed at.
Oh.
So for a
yeah.
while it was there just chilling, and then of course I went there today and the garage completely was clean, so it
Damn.
got trashed. Riku
It got
Riku went in the trash.
Riku in the garbage can. Some would say where you belong, but
Yeah.
where we all belong.
Yeah, so
Lots
no.
of good stuff,
So
man.
I lost Riku forever.
Oh, Red
It's
never
okay.
forget. That's okay. You got Kingdom Hearts. Right?
I do.
You got the guides. And
I got the
books in there, so
guides.
you got
I have all the
pre-art.
games. Yes,
That's
exactly.
good. I don't have a good, clever transition on this, but let's talk about the Laura Bailey thing. Let's talk about we talk about the good stuff. You know, as much as it sucks that like things like 2020, all of it's been canceled. We at least have things like these digital events where we still get to get announcements and get excited and stuff like that. And it's the most silver of silver linings. But it was cool to be able to see like the cool stuff at Funimation Con, as well as like the awesome announcements from AX Light. And I just could only imagine if you went to the Aniplex panel, if AX was still happening, and getting the plethora of text messages of, Greg, they'll be Persona 5 the animation.
The funny thing is, if I went to AX physically, I don't know if I would have gone because normally when I go to
You
AX,
probably would have seen an article about it.
I would, you know what, I
Yeah.
would have been on my social media.
Yeah.
And because Aniplex, right as they announced it, they posted on Facebook, and of
Yeah.
course I heard it first at the panel, but they posted on their Facebook right after. So
Yeah.
if I hadn't gone to the panel, I would have seen it on my Facebook and then I
Right,
posted.
yeah.
But yeah, normally I don't go to panels. I think if they were still doing X physically, I probably would have went to the Millionaire panel. I would have
You
I
absolutely
would have went
would've
straight,
gone
waited
to-
5 hours in line just to
You
get
would
in,
have, yeah,
be like,
absolutely.
yes. So,
But
but
you know what you would have gotten? The World Ends With You program.
I know,
know,
like
you
that was
would've
the
gotten the
one thing,
program
like they
to
were
go.
gonna do it. That's why they put it on the
But
program
speaking of
guide.
The World Ends With You, I thought I was losing my fucking mind because I know when AX revealed what the cover was going to be, like someone had said on my timeline, yo, they're making an anime.
Well-
and you guys were all like, no, there's no announcement.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Somebody I think told Colin that, and Colin thought it was an anime because it was on the cover. But then that's when I went and said, well, I looked, there's nothing about it. Because at first X only said, this is,
Here's the program, yeah.
yeah, the reason he did is because Tetsuya Nomura was supposed to be a guest
Yeah.
at AX. That's
Yeah.
why they put it on there. So we thought, oh, because
This year would have been an interesting weird with Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is on the list to talk about
Yeah.
later. Yeah, it would have been an interesting year for
because
Nomura.
he's the character designer for World Ends With
For
You.
World Ends With You.
So that's what we all thought, like, oh, because he's a guest this year, so you know he's gonna
Yeah.
be showing all this stuff. So no one knew, and then of course that's when later on last
They
month
announced,
they announced,
yeah.
oh, we're making an anime.
By the way, yeah, there is an anime coming. You're
BT
like,
dubs.
what?
Yep.
Yeah, BT dubs,
Yes.
basically.
So we're like, what? But yeah, it's coming next year, 2021, and Funimation has the rights to stream it.
Nice.
And it's supposed to come out worldwide. They said worldwide, so it's going to be streaming on the same day for everybody.
Like Pitbull, it's going to be worldwide.
Yes, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, so coming off the high of talking all these awesome announcements, let's talk the Laura Bailey thing really quick. So many people have talked about it. I watched Critical's video about it, who he's a commentary reaction channel. And basically on Friday, Laura Bailey posted a series of screenshots of messages she's been getting since Last of Us 2 came out. And she plays, for the sake of not wanting to give spoilers, even though the spoilers are out, she plays a pivotal character that does something to someone.
You can say her name.
Yeah, so can't you say her name? Don't people know who she is?
Because that name got released. So
Okay, she plays the character of Abby.
you just don't have to go into detail. with
Yeah, she does something to a certain character. And basically got all these rape threats, all these death threats, threats that they were going to kill her kid. And she posted these screenshots being like, hey, I try to stay positive, but this is what I've been getting. I block things out because, spoilers. And it's disgusting. And just about every community, for the most part, there's a caveat I'll get to. I had to unsub from a channel because of it. Everyone was sitting there saying, listen, it doesn't matter if you liked or hated the game, you don't fucking do this. You really don't. People were saying it happened with people related to Star Wars. It happened with some of the actors from 13 Reasons Why. It happened with like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. It happened. It's a consistent thing. Kelly Marie Tran got bullied off of Twitter. Daisy Ridley shut down her Twitter. Ryan Johnson still gets shit on Twitter. You've got the actor for Joffrey who quit acting because of all the shit he caught for playing Joffrey the way the character was supposed to be played. And Laura Bailey posted this saying, this is tiring. And there's a subsect of people who are saying that, oh, this is a publicity stunt, this is fake. I had to like I said earlier, I had to unsubscribe from a channel because this individual was claiming, I don't even want to name the channel, it's not worth even stating, but they were basically stating that, I'm not saying to send death threats, but I am saying that this is a load of fucking bullshit keeping people from being able to criticize something. And I went, that ain't a good look, dude. Fuck you. And the only silver lining is seeing all of these communities come together and stand with Laura Bailey and be like, hey, this is fucking unacceptable. Even people were coming and saying, listen, I fucking hated this game, but I'm not going to send death threats to you. I could just bitch in my subspace on Twitter like, I think the writing was horrible. There are some people saying, well, Neil Druckmann deserves it at least. It's like, no, how about nobody deserves death threats? You can criticize all you want. Mir and I have a whole 2.5 hour podcast where I was basically praising the game, but I know it's not for everyone. I know people are not going to like the game, and that's fine. But just don't do that. It's like, just don't fucking do that. And then to sit there and say, like, these same people that the channel I was mentioning earlier was saying, it's the internet, everyone gets fucking death threats, fucking grow a pair and get over yourself. And I'm like, why are we normalizing this aspect? Like, I'm shocked that I'm not shocked by this. It's like everything else going on in the world, whether now or like consistently for years, it's just like, I'm more shocked than I'm not shocked. And, it's, it would be like if, because for people who don't know, I fucking hate Sword Art Online. I think it is one of the worst written shows ever created. But I'm not going to send death threats to the mangaka. I'm not going to send death threats to the team that made the anime. I'm not going to send death threats to the English voice actors who dubbed it and the director that directed the show. No. I don't like it, and I move on. And it's sad that there's a small group of people that are claiming, oh, this is a publicity stunt to get us to stop talking about how shitty this game is. And I'm like, the people who hate the game are standing with Laura Bailey. There are people that took a break from their tirades on Twitter about how horribly the story got botched, saying, hey, listen, I fucking hated this game, but this is unacceptable. And I don't know. We've talked about it for a long time. I don't even know how to phrase this as a question. Just what do you have to say as this whole thing was unfolding?
Well, I only heard about it because you talked about it. Otherwise, I didn't.
Well, just when I was talking to you about it.
You pretty much said all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any words for it because you've pretty much summed it up.
Okay.
What's the whole thing of the matter?
Yeah, no, I
just otherwise, honestly. I saw some people, some voice actors talk about it, but otherwise I only got the full thing because you brought it up. Otherwise, it never even crossed my timeline on Twitter or anything like that,
No, I get you, No, you did basically echo the sentiment. It's like, don't fucking do that. You had straight up said, I had no interest in this game because I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. So I had no interest in this game. I looked at the spoiler and went, oh, okay, whatever. I don't get... Cool, I guess. I don't care. I'm not interested in it. But again, you're just like, you moved on. It's like find something you like. You know, this isn't. I don't think anyone in this situation, and it's on both sides. I get it. There are people who absolutely love the game that say, if you fucking hate this game, you're fucking stupid. You don't fucking get it. There's something wrong with you. I'm like, no, it is. Mir and I talked about it in full spoiler detail. It is a divisive game that makes bold choices that to some it will work, to others it won't, and I can understand both sides of that issue. You don't have to love it. You don't have to hate it. You don't have to dox people who hate the game. Now, I'll even say that. There are some people who love the game that are trying to dox people who are saying bad things about the game, which that's just as fucked up as sending death and rape threats to one of the voice actors of the game because you hated the game. You know, we need to not do that shit as well. But, yeah, you just don't fucking do that. You know, like I said, my analogy was Sword Art Online. I fucking hate Sword Art Online, but that doesn't give me any excuse to send death threats to anyone associated with Sword Art. And yeah, we in this household stand Laura Bailey. She is great and awesome and pretty and really great at D&D and just a sweetheart and 10 out of 10 and was Lucina in Fire Emblem. So yeah, Lucina's pretty great in Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem Awakening. It was so good. I need to play 3 Houses.
You know you didn't beat it?
I still need to go back and beat it, but yeah, what I played of it was really good. I got like halfway through the game and it was fun.
Just giving you crap.
I know. Hey, I can say I loved it, even though I didn't finish it.
Okay, yeah.
What was the one that you said? There was a game we were talking about earlier that you said, "Oh, well, I didn't finish it, but I loved it." We were talking about something earlier. I don't remember. When we look back in my
The Gargoyles game.
We got super stuck on that.
Oh yeah, I don't.
We were talking about something earlier, but yeah. We in this household stand Laura Bailey. And now I have the title of the podcast, I guess. No, that's all. Just don't be an idiot, you know. You know, people saying don't send death threats doesn't mean you have to hate the game or not criticize the game. Because, spoiler alert, there are plenty of people who have valid criticisms of the game. And that's just fine. You know, Critical didn't like the game. But he also said Laura Bailey was awesome. Video Game Donkey really liked the game, and he said it was the first time since Red Dead and God of War that he was really hooked into a story. And he knows it's not something for everyone, but he personally loved it. And people were telling Critical, it's like, well, hey, Donkey liked the game, and you hated it. Do you hate him for loving the game? And he's just like,
No.
He's my friend. We're not going to agree. What, I'm going to end a friendship because he liked a video game that I didn't like? Like, that's stupid. You know, I actually strongly advise people watch the Critical video called Video Game Worship, and it's, basically, he's just like, we need to stop worshiping video games. We need to stop, and he said it on both sides, because he was talking like I said, the people that are being shitty who love the game, the people that are being shitty because they hated the game, and all that shit. But, yeah, it's a dumb, stupid video game with a bunch of graphics, and you move a controller, and you fucking do stuff, and you play video games. So, yeah, that's what else? You're right. What else is there to say? We love Laura Bailey. We met her once, and she is beautiful and great. And I would love to meet her again after Critical Role and everything. And she is Jester in Critical Role. So, I need to take a deep breath. That was a lot of talking. So some quick fire things. MySpace. You remember MySpace?
I had a MySpace.
I had a MySpace. I wish my MySpace still existed. I deleted my MySpace when I made a Facebook. I wish I still had my MySpace because I would love to have seen how cringy my MySpace was, which was fucking... If any of my old Facebook posts from 2009 and 2010 or anything to speak of it, imagine even younger Greg on the internet on MySpace. Oh boy, oh gosh, I can imagine the treasure trove of cringe that is in there. So, a couple years ago, it was sadly revealed that because a big part of MySpace was your music playlist, right? So in a server transfer or a data transfer, there was a transfer happening at some point. They accidentally deleted 500,000. They accidentally deleted like all of the music that was on MySpace. It was gone. So like early songs from bands, like well-known bands like Bring Me the Horizon had some early demos on there. Metal bands like Suicide Silence, bands like Never Shout Never, all of their like really old like archived MySpace pages with all of their music on there Completely gone. Completely deleted. Some madman, when quarantine hit, decided to dig through old databases, and he has a whole write-up as to how he did it. He salvaged 500,000 songs on a website called lostmyspace.com. You can search a band or search a song that you remember from MySpace, and you can listen to it. He found, like I said, 500,000 songs. So the question I want to pose to you, is there anything that maybe is lost or deleted that doesn't exist anymore that you would spend an entire quarantine to try to find and bring back to the world? It could be as pointless as ever. It could be like a YouTube video that's not online anymore that nobody has.
I have 2.
It could be, a piece of lost media or anything. What is something you would spend months in a quarantine to try to archive and bring back?
So the first one is that I fight for my friend's Ike video.
Yes!
I also do crack and heroin. I cannot find that
I
anywhere.
know.
It was like only one YouTuber had it, and it was like a stupid Flash animation.
You sent it to me, or you showed it to me when we first met, and it's just Ike from Fire Emblem go, I fight for my friends. I also do crack and heroin.
And it's just so dumb, but it's just
so stupid.
But I just love video because if I quote it now to people, they don't know what I'm talking
and
about.
You can't bring up the video, and it's not
maybe
there.
randomly watch. When we say it now, I'm gonna go on YouTube. I'll
Watch
find
it.
it.
You're gonna go to look up. I fight for my friends. I also do crack and heroin.
It's gonna be there. But yeah, and then when I was younger, like very small, on Disney, Disney, their website, they had like these point and click games.
Oh yeah.
And they're no longer anywhere on Disney.
Oh shit.
Like I found it once randomly on a Google search, but they were like, it was about like a pink pony unicorn. There was a guy called Detective Brain in a Jar.
Detective Brain.
And just it was all these random like Disney games that weren't really with Disney, but they were just so off the wall.
There were these weird
that I actually playing them as a kid, and I tried finding them a long time ago, after I got older, and they were gone. Yeah. So I don't know where they went, but just I would love to bring those back so I could just see how bad they are now.
I have so many of those, like all those Flash games. Like there was a bowling game I had called Gutterball that. I don't know if it exists anymore. There has to be an archive of that game somewhere.
Did you hear a while ago, because Flash is no longer going to be a thing like end of this year.
Yeah.
A lot of the old Disney Channel games are on there. Somebody or people, I should say, are working to make a website where you can still play these games. So you can play. You remember Lilo and Stitch, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever play that sandwich game with his cousin who liked sandwiches?
Oh yeah.
I forgot his name, Leroy or something.
Leroy.
Or maybe. Yeah. I think that was a red guy. The sandwich dude, though.
But
you get that game I played all the time. And
Leroy the sandwich boy.
Yes, and they're making a website with all these games that you can preserve them, and that's one of them.
Yeah, a lot of those old games. There's actually a project right now that there's a bunch of like Cartoon Network Flash games that because they used to have a what was it called? Power Play Games is what they had, and basically. Half these games are lost, and there were some games they found and gotten to work. Other games they found, but they're still trying to write the DRM so that way you can play them on older, on newer machines. Because the issue is some of the games there's a specific DRM that was only on Windows XP that they don't have on systems post XP. So you have to play it on a Windows XP system or dual boot it into XP.
Did you ever play that cartoon Summer Resort game?
Yeah.
I played that. That was fun.
Yeah.
With all the cartoons.
Some of the Nickelodeon games were also
crossing over, things like that. So.
Yeah, I would. If there was something I would dig back, probably try to pick up the pieces of my old MySpace page. I want to see the cringe so bad. It's like, hey guys, this isn't 500,000 songs from MySpace, but here's my cringy MySpace. Oh, I know what I would do. Try to find. It probably don't exist anymore. I probably shut that down. Try to find my old It wasn't Angel Fire. But my old websites.
GeoCities.
It may have been a GeoCities site.
GeoCities.
I may have deleted them ages ago, but they were I tried to back when I was 10. I was I'm gonna write strategy guides for games because they help me, and so
That's a lot of work.
I tried to write strategy guides for Metroid Prime. and basically it was just me copying the walkthrough I already had from Prima Games and trying to like type my own version of it at the age of 10. Or like Wind Waker, you know? And it's like I was like, I'm gonna write video game guides, and that did not happen. And like it was super cringy, like, hey guys, I'm Gregory and I'm gonna tell you how to beat games. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not going to teach people how to beat games.
Nowadays, like the Prima game strategy guide, like that's gone.
Yeah.
They I don't
know why? Because GameFAQs happens.
Yeah, GameFAQs, and a lot of stuff now. A lot of it you can get it digital now. Digital's the way to.
Not just that, but like websites like Polygon and IGN and like Eurogamer, they make walkthroughs for these games as they are reviewing them, so that way they have a walkthrough.
Also, people are posting their playthroughs on YouTube.
There's also people that do Let's Plays. Let's Plays are basically Let's Plays are like, there's like the quiet, or not quiet, the no commentary Let's Plays, which are basically just walkthroughs for the game in a visual sense.
So if anything, like a lot of times when I bought the guides, like I bought it for because it's a collector's item, especially when it's hardcover.
Yeah.
I bought it for like collectors.
Yeah, you bought the collector's aspect.
Yeah. But now I just use everything online. Because it's just easier. Unless I play an old game and I have the guide.
That's
then
true.
I'll use it.
Again, that's me with Metroid Prime. I still have my guide for the first Metroid Prime. I just need a cable for my GameCube so I can play it.
Yeah.
I'd probably try to find my old fucking walkthrough websites.
Yeah.
It's... Everyone wanted to have a website back in the day. So.
That was the cool thing.
And then Wang has on his YouTube channel, Angel Fire Adventures,
where we watched that.
He digs through a bunch of old... He has one of them that was this, like, fake Dragon Ball Z spin-off that people were making up that, like, it turned out it was going to be, like, it was a fan thing that never even came to fruition because they got I think they got a DMCA from Toei Animation.
Yeah.
It was... Oof. And then, like, the old, like, wrestling organization sites... Like, people that made their own wrestling leagues and backyard wrestling leagues and shit. I'm like, oh man. Angel Fire was a place. That was a place that existed. It was fun. It was a different time on the internet. We weren't sending death threats to voice actors back then. We were just making dumb websites with Angel Fire. With those sick skull those graphics with, like, the spinning skull and the fire and shit. Because, you were... fucking cool guy TM. It was great. But
you gotta realize though, like, we may not have been sending death threats to people, but people were probably making websites.
That's true. That is true. There was also websites about like how Marilyn Manson was the guy from Wonder Years, which was pretty great. There's a kid in the show The Wonder Years that they claim went off the grid and became Marilyn Manson, and it's like, no, that's not even close. But yeah. We could do a whole podcast just talking about weird Angel Fire sites and whatnot. Let's see. It's going to be a quick fire one. Let's see. Other quick fire things. Disney to replace Splash Mountain with the Princess and the Frog themed ride. What do you think of that?
I'm actually really excited. I mean, I like Splash Mountain, but I also really like Princess and the Frog. I remember when that movie was going to come out in theaters. This is the very last 2D handmade drawn movie, by the way, for Disney. I should say not ever, but for Disney.
It was their last 2D animation.
Yes, and I remember telling my friend, I'm like, we have to see it in theaters, please. I really want to see it in theaters. It's the last one.
Yeah.
They're going to draw hand draw. She's like, okay. And I watched it and I fell in love with it. And to this day, it's one of my favorites.
It's great.
Movies. It's
so good. And there's so much, and especially because, like, I mean, I know Splash Mountain isn't technically in New Orleans Square, but you can model it to be like an entrance for New Orleans Square.
Yeah, I'm saying, if you read, I don't know if you read the article, but what they're going to do
it's basically Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah, they're going to do it where they're celebrating Mardi Gras. That fits.
What I was gonna say was that movie has so much personality and so much visually you can pull. And it's like, there's some people saying, like, well, why are you trying to get rid of it? And there was drowned by the mass majority of Song of the South has been a stain on Disney for so fucking long.
And I'm pretty sure if you ask anyone today if they've ever seen it, 9 times out of 10 people are gonna tell you no. I have never seen this movie.
No, I've never seen it. All I know is it's a super racist movie. That's all I know.
And I know there's a song from it.
Zippity Doo Dah.
That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I like that song, but
it was a good song, but
yeah,
not a good look on Disney with that movie.
Yeah, so I can see why.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Probably they didn't because they didn't have anything to change it to. I mean, they had Briar Rabbit, and I mean, Winnie the Pooh had his own rides. You can't put Winnie the Pooh in there, but
just have him take over a bunch of other rides.
Yeah.
You could have just made it the aliens from Toy Story again.
Oh,
That's all you needed. You're on an alien. You're going down an alien mountain now. There you go.
Yeah.
No,
like they did
so
with Space Mountain for a while. They changed it to Hyperspace Mountain to
yeah,
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't happy about that, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because
ride.
General Akbar told me it was a trap.
It's a trap.
Ride, so
Admiral Akbar is pretty great.
but yeah, so I'm actually excited for it.
I cannot wait to see some concept designs for what they're going to be doing.
I'm excited to see what it's going to look like
It's going to be fun.
when it comes out.
It's going to be really fun.
And I'm going to ride in the front seat like I always do for that ride, even though I'm a big old chicken at the end.
You're like, I can't look.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
No, that's Space Mountain. Now at the end is Splash Mountain. I hold on and I look derpy because I'm like, while we're going down, I'm like,
You have like quadruple chin.
Yeah, I do. It's just my derpiness because my feet is like, ah.
Yeah, I got you. It's pretty great. So Mary and I watched Hamilton. Came out on Disney Plus. She played me the soundtrack ages ago, and she loves the soundtrack. I heard the soundtrack. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I've wanted to see it, but seeing it solidified that I actually really liked it. I was ready to be picking it apart and be like, well, it's not as good as people say, and here's why. Yeah. But no, it was really fucking good. I liked it. I liked it a lot, and it was really nice. And Mira and I, next time she's on the podcast, we'll talk about it way more. Games we're playing. I think to yesterday started playing World Ends With You. Picked up the Switch version of it. Yeah. Took a little getting used to.
I know.
With the controls. I'm going to say this, playing it handheld is so much easier.
Definitely, yeah.
So I'm going to play it handheld, but it is really stylized and really fun.
I liked your commentary about Neku.
He's a punk bitch, man.
That's what you told me yesterday. I started laughing.
I just... Neku is a punk bitch, and I know people are saying like, oh, he's supposed to be at the beginning, he's supposed to be this like punk.
I'm waiting for you to get to my favorite character to see what you think of him. A lot of people don't like him.
Joshua?
Yeah, a lot of people hate him.
Is he a smug rich kid?
He's not a rich kid, but he's very smug.
Is he blonde?
What?
Is he blonde?
It's not blonde.
He's got hair that reminds me of Goro Akechi.
It's like a dirty brunette. Like it's kind of grayish brunette.
It's that weird gray brunette.
Brown. It's gray. It's a weird gray brown color. But regardless, I know a lot of people, especially in the fandom, there's so many people that do not like him. So I'm waiting I'm curious to see what your opinion is on him.
By the way, Beat is pretty great. You are right.
I told you. I know for the most part what your character is.
He's Angry Boy. He's literally kanji. Like it's so good.
Half the time when I see characters, I can just see.
Tell,
I can tell because you have this character type that you like.
And Ryan, Ryan is just like.
She's really cute.
She's great and just giving Beat shit of like, hey, don't be an asshole, man.
Exactly.
Like, stop it. It's like, okay, fine, let's go.
Yeah.
It's pretty
very
great.
cute, yeah.
So I'm loving that. Mira bought me Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a fun fucking game. I got really excited when they announced the second game. I'm like, fuck, I haven't even played the first game and I'm excited for this new game.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. Didn't know it was a full-on RPG. But it's an action RPG and it's really fun. And it reminds me if Uncharted's if like Last of Us's gunplay was married with Witcher's RPG like skill tree and experience stuff, and it's really fun and really cool. And the design, the world design, the character design is so fucking sick, and the world is so weird and cool, and I'm like, I want to learn more about it, and it's a lot of fun. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I cannot wait to play more. You're playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Finally, it took you a while because you powered through
Persona 5
Royal.
I was trying to get through that.
And you're like, I need to play a non-RPG for a little bit before jumping back into it. But
that's a lot.
But you started playing. I almost said Last of Us 2. No, you're not playing Last of Us 2. You started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. So you're about halfway through the game because you're in Chapter 9. What are your thoughts as someone who played the original Final Fantasy VII? Played it, you love it. That was like
that was my very first Final Fantasy. Yeah. Like everyone else on the planet.
Yeah, right. Like everyone.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Favorite part? Oh man.
Or not favorite part. Why did I ask favorite part? What do you think of the remake compared to the original? And to keep that question in, what's been your favorite part of the remake? So?
I really like it. I like a lot of the stuff they did. I mean, I'll admit at first I did not like the combat because I was so used to the ATB. I mean, it's still in there. Don't get me wrong. It's still in there. I still love it. I got used to it. It's just when I played the demo specifically, I said, oh my gosh, this isn't... I mean, I understand. They have to change it for the times nowadays because... I can't think of any modern JRPG today
Persona 5.
that doesn't have the active time battle thing.
Oh, that doesn't have active
That's
time.
what I was getting into. That does not have that.
Again, that still matches. Persona 5 doesn't have ATB. They just
No,
have an
it doesn't.
order.
It's just they have an order, like a.
They have
order. It's turn-based, yeah. I don't know any modern RPG today that has that ATB because that's one of the reasons why 7 was so hailed back in the because no other game had done so. I mean, the original Final Fantasies did, but no.
That was the closest to an action RPG at the time we got.
That's why a lot of people loved it because that's it was different. And I mean, I personally loved it. I loved having to pick whenever who went up next. Having to plan out my attacks, see who was gonna be next, like what I want to do. I mean, you could change it to where, it would stop time so that way, when you were picking something, it would wait for you.
Yeah.
They had that. But, I mean, I love that. So in the remake, when they changed that, I was like, oh, okay, this is too much like Final Fantasy 15. I wasn't really wanting that in 7 remake because I played that in 15 and I played it in the other RPGs. So I'm not really like it, but I'll deal with it. I'll just get used to it, and I did, and now I actually really like it. I think it flows well with the game.
I think the way that they integrated ATB to be for like your
spells and skills that I do like.
That's really that still causes strategy.
Yes.
You don't know how many times I'd sit there and like, oh, I gotta shock this dude. Fuck, Barret doesn't have any ATB. All right, let me attack with Barret for a moment. Okay, now I can shock him back to Cloud. Use his slash. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm glad at least they implemented that, and I love it. I think that's very creative.
It still has a strategy.
Exactly.
To it.
I can still think, okay, what am I gonna do next? You know? And I love how now you could just switch to characters on the fly. Because in the original game, like, that wasn't like that. Yeah. You picked your party, and then when it was their turn, you just use them. I like how you do that. I love the music. Like
the remakes music so good.
When I first heard Cloud's theme, which is also, fun fact, the overworld theme on the map in the original game, I got chills because it's just that's like one of my favorite songs in 7.
Yeah.
And it was so good. I was
like, fuck.
I was like, oh man, this is so good. The remake's good. Like the music, I love the not scenery. Maybe scenery, like the background.
I love the neighbors too.
Me too. Woo!
Yeah, woo! I don't know what's going on, but there's a fucking party out there, man.
Yeah. I love how you can look up and you can actually see the plate.
I know that was so cool.
In the original, you couldn't look up. You were very limited to the PS1 graphics, but I loved how you can look and see. You could see the plate. You can see the background, the scenery, how big it actually is. It blew my mind. I'm like, this was really this big to them in the original game, but we had no idea because you're just like this tiny little.
I mean, it's spoilers for the original game when they drop the plate in the remake because you already have that grand scale, and like they show the broken plate when you go to Sector 5 because you see like all the ruin and stuff. That's kind of like the warning about like, hey, this is what happens when they drop a plate. And then you see when they drop the plate in the remake, since you have that grand scale, you see how fucking devastating it is when they drop it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're right, the scale was incredible.
Yeah, like there's been times I would stop where I'm doing, like running around just to look at everything because it's so massive.
It's so big.
And the music. I do like the voice cast. I'll admit it took me a little bit to get used to because I was so committed to the original voice actors from the movies, from Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
And then, of course, I know, like, in other Final Fantasy games, like, for example, Aerith got her voice changed so many times and whatnot. And so I
love her new voice actress.
Yeah, her new voice actor, yes. I love all of them. For example, Sephiroth and Clouds were the two I really had to get used to because I was so set on.
You're so married to the adventure.
Yeah, I loved Steve Burton, and I really liked George Newbern. I don't remember the original voice actor for Sephiroth. Not Lance Bass.
Oh, come on, Lance Bass is the best one!
he was a Kingdom Hearts.
He was the best one.
But yeah, I was just
like was it Mandy Moore that was Aerith
in the first
the
Kingdom
original
Hearts
Kingdom
game.
Hearts?
Then they got somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just so committed to these voices. So when they changed it at first, I was actually really bummed out because I loved them so much. But
Yeah.
playing through this, like the new guy for Cloud, he's perfect.
So good.
I could see why they chose him. He fits so well for Cloud. And I love it. I'm excited to hear Max towards the end.
Oh, Max is so
Like,
good as
from
Red 13.
From what I heard when you were playing that part, I was like, oh, he sounds good. He sounds perfect. You know.
If I didn't know, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, the
never
thing
known
is,
that's Max
if he
Middleman.
had never said anything, he never announced it, I would have never known because his voice is so different.
I'm used to hearing him as like Saitama and Ryuji
or Atsushi.
Yeah,
like all these characters. So
yeah.
it's nice to know that at least he has a range, which is good.
That is a deep voice.
Yeah, that's something
so.
totally
Also,
different.
Can we say John Eric Bentley is so fucking good as Barrett?
Mm-hmm.
He is I remember when he was Fire Emblem in Tiger and Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they said it was John Eric Bentley that was going to be Barrett, I'm like, oh, that's the best casting I've ever seen in my life. And then Tifa's voice actress is great.
Mm-hmm.
I love Aerith's new voice actress, and the fact that she was a Twitch streamer who's never played Final Fantasy VII, and so
She's doing that right now, right?
she played the remake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's playing a remake. Oh,
So-
is she gonna go back to the original? Did she say she was going to?
I don't know. She might.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But her thing was like, she never played the original,
Yeah.
so she's like, I'm waiting to play this until the remake.
Yeah,
I want to experience.
I guess whenever someone says they've never played the original, it throws me off. Oh shit, sorry.
It's all
It
good.
throws me off because I knew growing up. I played this next, but so many people had played 7. So whenever someone says they have never played the original 7, it just shocks me a little bit because I
Mira's
know.
never played the
I
original
know, Mira,
7.
but
I'm about to ruin her career.
if you're saying no, Mira, I know you said time and time again you're never gonna play it, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
But just anyone else like that I come across that said they've never played the original 7, it surprises me a little because that game was so iconic. Like Alejandro Saab, for example, on Twitter when the game came out, the
He said he
remake,
never played
he
it.
said he'd never played 7. And I was like, what? And he's around my age, a
Yeah.
little bit younger, so he's never
I would say
played
he's
it.
probably closer to my age.
Yeah, so that shocked me, and
Well, I technically didn't actually play 7 until we met in college because I watched a friend play it in elementary school.
yeah.
My first Final Fantasy that I ever owned was 13.
Mhm.
Because I tried renting 10 and I got stuck in the beginning. I'm like, this game's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I want to go back and actually play 10 now that I'm not a stupid kid trying to play an RPG and not
Yeah.
understanding.
I still like 10-2. Controversial opinion. I love 10-2. I really
Dress
do.
up the game.
Yes, I do like
Back
that.
massage the game.
Yep.
Outside Xbox. Was it Outside Xbox or Outside
don't
Extra? One of those two. Had 7 weird mini games in the massaging game.
Yeah, I
And
did
it's
that.
So
And the thing
weird.
is, that's required. You have to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's still weird though.
it is
They also
weird.
had the phone sex line from Yakuza 0.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the weird mini games like karaoke and whatnot, the sex hotline.
That's
yeah.
the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
But yeah, so I just love it. I'm curious. I want to know who's going to be Yuffie and Vincent.
I know.
I don't think Kate Sith wasn't in this.
Kate Sith.
Does he talk in here?
He doesn't talk.
Okay,
but
so-
he does show up.
Okay, so
in a brief cameo.
we'll find out then because he becomes obviously a party member and he talks in the original. So even though we know, well, I don't know if people. I don't want to give it. Well, does it say? I don't want to give spoilers. That's the thing because there's a thing
You're
about
talking about the original game. You don't know about.
Or
the
is this
remake
related to
yet.
the remake?
it's probably related to the
We don't know
remake.
yet.
That's the thing because it's a vital thing about Kate Sith in 7.
We can speculate because we don't know if they're gonna change.
We
it, if
only
they're
see
gonna keep
Kate
it.
Sith briefly when the plate drops.
Okay.
Because
Let me.
Kate Sith reacts to the plate.
Let me say
dropping,
this then.
that's
So
it.
in the originals, you don't care about spoilers for original.
No, no.
In the original 7, Reeve is the one who controls Kate Sith.
We only see Kate Sith. We don't
So
see anyone
that's
else.
what I'm wondering. Like because he controls them in the original, I'm pretty sure they probably will keep that because that was a big thing in 7.
That's a
Like turns
big
out like
one.
oh shit, Reeve is controlling him all along.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to betray the Turks or the Turks Shinra. You know, blah blah. Okay,
By the way, Reed is great.
I love Reeve.
You feel even worse for him
Yes.
in this game because they expound upon
Yes.
a lot of the Shinra stuff.
Okay, I'm about to be a fangirl for a second here. Okay, full stop. Ready?
Talk about hot boys.
I never thought Rufus Shinra was hot until the remake came out, and I'm just like,
Dude.
Are you kidding me? There were people that, whenever I was seeing Advent Children, I would see people that are like, dude, Shinra, though, is hot.
the thing is, like,
I'm not ready for when he
I was like,
comes out of the helicopter.
I
for
saw
the first
in like
time.
the movie, like the thing is, this is me when I saw Advent Children. I was that fangirl who had a thing for Cloud, okay? Cloud was like my big crush.
Reno.
That's your boy.
Reno too, I found Reno hot, but Cloud was my boy, okay?
They did our boy Reno so good in this
I
game.
know they did. I'm like, oh man,
This
Reno.
dumb boy.
Okay,
This dumb
and
hot
you know what
boy.
this game
Oh,
also
man.
did?
This boy sipping on dumb juice.
Okay. I always had a thing for Sephiroth too, okay?
Of course you
So
did. Bacon grease the villain. Go ahead.
Voice cracking
when,
all.
when the game remake came out, I was like, fuck, Sephiroth's really hot here too. Oh my god, no. So just
2020 is the year of you going back to OG husband.
it is like it really
The world
is.
ends with you.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
Seven.
VII.
Like oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like. But yeah, I saw Rufus in the remake. I'm like, fuck, he wasn't hot before.
You're not
Now-
ready for when
now
he comes out of the helicopter.
I know you
towards
fight
the end of the
him
game.
because you fight
Yes.
him in the original. Yeah.
So when he comes out of the helicopter.
Oh, now you're telling me it.
It
Okay.
is such an act. It's not even a spoiler.
Shirt unbuttoned.
It's yeah. Top.
Oh no!
I don't remember. No. I think he's full business at this point.
Well, he's got like the V. Like,
He
Yeah.
does have the V, yeah.
Yeah.
But he literally, I didn't know that you could frame a shot to have swag, but they framed that fucking shot of him coming out of the fucking helicopter of like, this is what a Billion Gil looks like. And it's just him, popped collar, coming out of the helicopter like, I run this shit, bitches. And it's like, oh man.
Yeah. So this
okay.
remake was like, hey, remember when these characters you think weren't hot?
Remember your OG hot boys?
Yeah. So we're gonna bring them back, but even
it's about to get
better.
worse.
So I'm curious. I want to know what Vince is gonna look like. I always thought Vince was hot. So I just like,
I
man.
wonder who's gonna Vis.
I know,
Vis
boys.
voices.
It's,
I said Vis Vincent.
it's not gonna be Steve Bloom. I can tell you
Boys
that right
Vincent,
now
yeah.
because they're changing everybody. So it's not gonna be Steve Bloom. Sadly, I want it to be. I don't think it is though.
No.
What if it's Matthew Mercer?
I would love,
I would love for Matthew
I
Mercer.
would love for Matthew Mercer to be.
Because he'd be like, oh my god, I'm at 7.
I heard Matthew Mercer a couple times in Last of Us 2, and it was so easy to hear. Oh, there's Matt. There he is.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
What gender is Kate Sith?
he's not a really well.
Is that male or female?
He doesn't have a gender, but if we have to pick one, he's a boy.
What
He's-
if Matt was Kate Sith?
Hey, I'll take that.
No, it's gonna be Sam Riegel. Sam Riegel's
Yeah, it's Ariel.
No, it's
But
gonna
it's
be
just-
Liam.
It's gonna be Liam. He's gonna do his like fucking squeaky.
No, you know
high
how
note.
Sam is gonna be the little cat, and then Liam is gonna be the big pink thing.
Yeah, there we are. Fucking Sam and Liam.
Or in a plot twist, they reverse
They
it.
reverse the roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're expecting this. We got this.
Actually, they're going to Travis Willingham's gonna use his fucking tiny gnome voice he used in the Darrington Brigade one-off to be Kate Sith, and then Liam's going to use his deep voice to be the pink thing. It's gonna be really weird, man. It's gonna be really.
Yeah, so
So you're loving it.
I did. I am
Like McDonald's.
I'm loving it. Yeah, it's just there's so much. Oh, I almost got spoiled on YouTube because somebody uploaded the ending to 7, like after you fight the boss, like
The final cutscene.
the final cutscene before like in the original game they go down the plate, but they started like it was on my thing and it started playing and I was like nope, and I
yeah.
blocked that video so fast. I'm like I'm not
Like
getting
not interested.
Yeah.
To get that out of here.
Not yet, Satan.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
ready for any spoilers because I really want to know what they changed because apparently it's just a big thing. Everyone's like talking about it. I want to know what is the big
You
old
can
thing.
find out the debate that Chrissy, Suya, Rad, and I had, where.
Do you want to have that debate when we're done? Like
Yes,
when we're
I
done?
would love. I've waited to do a spoiler cast about Final Fantasy VII Remake until you finish
I know.
it.
I'm so getting.
No,
there.
it's all good. By the time you are finished with it, it'll probably be past the point of like, okay, we can spoil this now because it's already been a couple months, but still.
Yeah. Well, as
But-
long as you put a title like thing.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be
to,
like spoilers for Final Fantasy VII
Seven,
Remake
like-
when we do talk
Yeah,
about.
because
the
there's
spoilers.
some people out there that that are still playing it, and I don't want to spoil it for them because I know that feeling when someone spoils it.
It's
for you,
good.
but-
It's. I liked the change. Chrissy didn't like
Yeah.
it.
Brad liked it.
Brad liked it, but not loved it, and Suya liked it.
So you liked it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's like the mass majority liked it. Chrissy said for her what they did with the ending doesn't ruin the experience to that point.
But
She is concerned about episode 2.
Yeah.
Or part 2.
I mean, I'm just curious because, you know, like we all know, I played the original. I know the story, like, back of my hand, of 7, the original 7. I know how it goes from start to finish. So I'm curious to see what they exactly are wanting to change, because I know they're already changing some things. Like for example, in the remake, those Dementor things, they're not in the original game.
You find out what those are at the end. It's a part of the big thing in the end, what those things are.
And then, of course, Cloud is having visions, and that wasn't the original game. Like, he's having visions here.
That's also important.
He's having Advent Children flashbacks.
Yes.
It's actually, all those visions are very important to what they did with this game.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I have my...
I'm so excited to talk about it.
I have my theories of what I think they're going to, but I don't want to say because I don't know, because I haven't.
I'll ask you after the podcast.
Okay.
What I think they are.
Well, you can't tell me. If
I won't tell you.
Okay.
I'll just
Can't
be like,
confirm it.
Yeah, you
interesting.
can't confirm it.
One way or another, I'll just say, interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Like you did when we talked
Neat.
about Bioshock.
yeah.
Neato.
Neat. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I fucking loved it. It was really good.
I'm ready for the wall market. That was the one
Market's
thing.
so good.
that was
You
the
have to do the super
Be sure
expensive
you
hand
have-
massage.
Of course
Yeah,
I
I was
am.
gonna say, be sure you have enough money.
Oh,
I did
I
the
have-
poor man's one.
I have so much money in this game. Okay, last time I checked, I have like 30-something thousand gil. Like, I have all this money.
I had 300 gil
Just
when I
think-
got.
I
to
know,
that
I
point.
saw
was
you
gonna
there.
say, he forgot
I
to
had
sell a bunch
I
of
forgot to sell a
things.
bunch of stuff, and you weren't able to go back.
You know why? Because half the time I'm not buying
there's
it.
that pop.
I've only bought like some material. I haven't bought half the stuff I need. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I saw it on YouTube what the differences were, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for that $3,000 massage
So
because I want to hear
good.
Cloud moan.
You want to hear him moan like a little bitch baby
Yep.
and be on cloud 9 and be like, oh.
Yep.
Cloud9.
The 9th version of him. The 9 circles of cloud. But
The
yeah.
Okay,
other
but-
8, nothing to write home about.
I'm okay with those clouds, those 9 circle clouds.
Of course you would be. You fucking
Weeb
pretty boy.
you.
You fucking simp
Thirsty
weeb you.
weeb.
You
I
thirsty
am.
simp ass weeb
Thirsty
you.
I blame Square Enix for this
I know.
remake.
Good job.
Ugh.
Good job. Thanks, Square.
Thanks.
Thanks, Square Enix.
Thanks, Essie.
Blame Disney
Thanks,
for
Essie.
your expectations.
Well, technically it was Square Soft when this first game
Well,
came
now
out,
Square
but now
Enix.
Square Enix.
I blame Square Enix, yes.
Thanks, Square. So, cool. Real quick, Death Stranding is coming to PC and doing a crossover with Half-Life. I
Cool.
think that's fucking cool. I want
Cool.
to see what they do with that.
Morgan Freeman's gonna be there. For the
Morgan
fuck-
Freeman,
Just
yeah.
for the fuck of it.
Just Morgan Freeman just is right there.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be there to explain convoluted storylines.
But he
so
won't
can
talk.
get
He's
more
just
freckles.
gonna point at a.
So he
He's
can
gonna-
get more freckles.
He's gonna.
Ding.
There. It's like that is what this explains this whole game, and it's just one word: drugs.
Or the other word.
I still want to play.
Money.
I still want to
Money.
play that game.
It's good. And
Wow.
Sue's gonna be bringing it
I
back.
gotta wait for Sue to bring it back.
Spoiler alert: Norman Reedus
In the funky fetus.
and his funky
Does not
fetus.
have
are
a
the-
funky fetus.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. Norman Reedus has a funky fetus in this game. Also, you see a lot of Norman Reedus ass in this game.
I'm okay with that.
Just try not to look at his crotch.
Oh yeah, he gets mad. Punches.
He punches the camera.
Yeah, I saw that one. People would post it all the time.
Oh man.
He doesn't like it. When
Now I want to go get Monster Energy drinks
Me
and
too.
raise my stamina by
Oh,
25%.
God.
we should get some.
Yeah, after the podcast, let's do it. I
Yeah.
mean, we're wrapping up, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
I had fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool little thing. So we're getting to the end of the podcast. Before we end, the Homebrewers, our D&D stuff, is coming back in 2 fucking weeks, if I remember correctly. I want to make sure I get it right.
Yes.
Yeah, in 2 fucking weeks, the weekend of the 18th, 19th, we'll be recording the brand new episode of the Homebrewers to be shown. We're going to be recording it, and then I'm going to be touching it up, and then we'll be airing it. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's also going to be your guys' birthday weekend, so that's going to be a lot
What
of
did you
fun.
get me for my birthday?
I got
A
you a thing.
Okay. What did you get me for my birthday?
A thing.
Yay!
Woo! We got you things.
Yes.
My thing-
Stuff. No, I got
My thing
stuff.
for you is already here.
But it's
Yeah.
hidden in
It
plain
is.
sight.
I got-
You said what? Did you say it was hidden in plain sight?
No,
it's,
not in plain
it's
sight.
not
per se.
necessarily out in the open, but
But-
if you look,
Hard enough.
you would probably.
But I don't
Yeah.
know where to look, so
if
it
you
doesn't.
go, if you be nosy and go snooping.
I'm not gonna be
You
nosy.
snooping?
I'm not gonna be nosy too.
Yeah.
I want hot Cheetos too.
Hot Cheetos?
Yes.
Okay. And I will get you order and we'll go to the gas station. I'll go get some Monster and stuff after this. But yeah, so Homebrewers, we're gonna be recording the long-awaited episode 13. It's been 1 week since.
since-
It's been.
Me.
So I'm trying to count. So
been
February,
a long
March,
time.
April, May, June.
It's been
Yeah.
a long
It's been almost. It's been about 4 months.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 months, or 4 to 5 months since we've last had a session of Homebrewers, and I'm so excited.
We're
to get
feeling
back.
it.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been doing the campaign with the Missouri peeps, but like, it's
What
gonna be
our
so
group
good.
lovingly called Dungeons and Dumbasses.
Yeah, but I'm so excited to return to Renfis and return to that story because it ended on such a good note. So D&D's coming back, baby. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. This Saturday's video is going to be the return of Hildebrand.
Oh, I need to go back to that. I finished the first part for me.
Finally.
So now I can.
I need to find out who threw the card at his head. I need to find that out, man, and I need to find Greg.
Yes,
So,
you do.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a funny skit that's gonna be before that video, related to what was the last podcast we talked about how we were gonna do a video about Funimation Con and AX Lite, and that didn't happen. So there's gonna be a funny skit about how that did not happen. But yeah, Hildebrand's coming back, baby. It's gonna be a lot of fun, baby. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for putting up with the technical issues. We're going to be fixing the audio, and we're going to be spicing this all together before it gets uploaded to YouTube tomorrow. Thank you for bearing with us. We did all these tests last night, and Discord was the more reliable one. And then Discord decided to not be reliable today. I saw when we had to swap over, someone said just use Skype, and we were having our own issues with Skype. But we're going to get it figured out for next podcast. You're the only one we're having this issues with, but it's going to be just fine. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us on the Twitch channel. We're going to be slowly but surely getting back in the swing of things. I may or may not have a cool thing set up to get ready for homebrewers. May or may not be starting to re-air episodes and chatting about the episodes with people at the end. We're going to kind of ask this week to see how it all goes. And then next week, we're going to have a definitive thing of what we may or may not be doing to get everyone all caught up with the homebrewers. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hildebrand, it's always a fun time. And I think that's about it. Find us on Twitter at Hardest Reset. I'm at Greg Snyder Gamer. You're
Bootleg Alpaca.
Bootleg Alpaca on Twitter. I love that fucking name.
I figured it's
so
a lot easier because the other one I couldn't pronounce, and I'm like, that's bad. If you
Yeah,
know,
Bootleg Alpaca
yeah,
is
it's
a
just,
great name.
It's just a llama.
Yeah, and then follow Hardest Reset at Hardest Reset.
It's just
Just
a
a
llama.
llama.
So Bootleg Alpaca
Just
is.
a bootleg alpaca.
It's a llama.
It's just a llama.
Yep.
But yeah, follow us on Twitter, youtube.com/artistreset. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're on Twitch,
Ring that bell.
fucking slam the fuck out of that bell, man. Slam it so hard you have the little squiggles on the side so you get notified whenever we upload a video. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys so much for putting up with our technical difficulties. And the technical difficulties on last podcast where I had the buzzing at the beginning of the podcast, we figured that out halfway through, and my connector box is for the better now. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys. Stay safe. Continue to stay safe. Places are closing back down again, so wear a mask. Don't be stupid. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Love everybody. And we'll catch you guys next time.